King here, back for another video. I'm back on the property, do some more exploring. I want to go check out this road here that it's a dead end. It's part of the property, and it was used, as I'm showing you here behind me, this road right here. I showed you in my other video, has a gate up, and used to be part of the ferry. There's a ferry back there some years ago, probably dating back to the 1940s and before that this road was used to and from the ferry as part of the old Marion Highway that ran through the property. So I want to go check out this road here. Probably can't see in the distance there. There's a big log that has fallen down, is now falling across the road there. So I'm going to check it out and see what I'll find, and yeah, let's go. You know, it's been some time since I've been back on this road. I want to say probably 2018 was the last time I was actually back here. And again, that was just before the hurricane came through and washed out the road. You see that there's a lot of old trees that are falling down. This branch here is falling from one of these trees. So I gotta be careful where I step. We definitely need time to clean up this property, clean it up, cut down these old trees, clear out some of this brush. Now, from my understanding, man, that's a big tree. From my understanding, that it's probably been maybe since the 70s or 80s or even 90s that timber has been cut. That timber has been cut around here. Man, that's a huge tree. Just, yeah, it knocked out that tree. All this needs to be cut. It's time for us to do some harvesting, but due to the legal issues, I think that's it's best to just put all this on hold until things can be resolved. Find my way around here and try to watch where I'm stepping. Don't wanna, yeah, just uprooted that tree there. It seems like there's a lot of old trees that are falling down, so it's definitely time to come in and clear some of this timber, keep the property healthy. Well, you can see it right there. I just clear off some of the brush and see what's underneath. All these leaves looks like, you can tell that's actual like soil or man-made structure. A road, a hardtop. All these dead leaves and Actually, think about it. I might have come out here and walked this road probably after they repaired the Jake Hill Road. As today is in the Department of Natural Resources or even Department of Transportation. Whoever was responsible in charge of the repair operation of the Jake Hill Road. Well, you can see parts of the PD River from here. It's really right through those trees. Probably good, like 20 yards, 30 yards through those trees. I think we're coming to the end of this road, meaning that it's probably why it's a dead end. Yeah, I've been down here. I remember walking right there, walking through there, see the PD River. But I still need to pay attention to where I'm walking. A lot of pine straw here, so it must be more like pine trees. Oh. Definitely need to have a forester come out here and give a good assessment. In actuality, I'm going through this course now, this forestry course, or I would say seminar, if you will, workshop that's presented by the Center for Heirs Property. And in this workshop we talk about the different types of forestry management. Breaking down the definition of forestry, breaking down the definitions of different terms and technologies and everything that's used in managing forests that foresters deal with on a day-to-day basis. Things that they know, the procedures and processes of cutting timber, managing timber, how companies and corporations and the industry as a whole deals with timber, the processes of timber, the laws, the rules. So it's very educational, definitely teaching me a lot. I'm learning a lot, and hopefully I can use that knowledge that I gain from this workshop and pass on to my family. Those that are willing to listen, those that are willing to listen to the experts and managing this property, do things right. Following the words of Papa Sim. Living up to his type of leadership. As it said in an article, that he was a benevolent leader. A despot, some might say. I think that's the quote and in quotes of the article that was written on him. Sorry for the noise, it seems to be a helicopter flying over. You see it right there, helicopter flying over. But, yeah. Pine cones, pine straw, leaves, branches falling everywhere. Definitely time to clean this property. But, you got hunting season, so not sure how it's going to work, how it's going to play out. But, so this is the dead end. But you see across there. Make sure I watch where I'm stepping here. I need to get my drone, but there's a lot of trees on the brush. I don't want to crash my drone, destroy my drone, but you see that there is a ravine here. You see how the stakes there, we call them stakes or whatever we call them, but there's a structure of some sort on the other side. So it might have been where they had a ferry. I don't know. Or I think the ferry was on the other side actually. But you probably say at some point there was this had water in it. And definitely need to do some more exploration. But I believe this was, yeah, come right here. Leads you right to the PD River. It's a good 20, 30 yards off the property, off the road there. The PD River. Watch my step going down. A makeshift walkway or some sort. What's the purpose of that structure there, or contraption that is? Man, how peaceful this is. Yeah, this is part of the Heir property, not the rivers per se, but very peaceful. Definitely, probably a good fishing spot. And this is on, so this side here is the PD side, where the land that I'm standing on. This is PD. And that side over there is Florence County. So this is Marion County that the Heir property is in. We're known as called the PD. And that side is Florence County, just on the side of the bridge. Just on the side of the PD River, the Great PD River that is. And yeah, the history goes that this property of Washington James, who is, again, if you see my other videos, is my grandfather's grandfather. So he's my second great-grandfather, because Papa Jimmy will be my great-grandfather, and then Washington James being his father is my great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. So my second great-grandfather bought this land from the Gibson's family, who purchased, according to some of the research I've come up with, articles that were written on the Gibson's family, their lineage, and how they acquired the land. I would say 10,000 acres of land, probably more than that. But yeah, this property, Washington James bought it from him in the 1870s, or when it was sold off to pay off debts and everything else. Bought it from the Gibsons for $300, 700 acres, and then, but not this tract of land. I think this tract of land, actually, correction, I stand corrected. Yeah, this tract of land, 700 acres, and 7 years later, purchased the whole tract, the two tracts of land together with other men and women, to include my grandmother's great-grandfather. In turn, is my third great-grandfather, Toby Cox. So, yeah. And this is so cool. Come out here and just hang out. Very peaceful, very quiet. Just need to do some cleaning up. Get these trees cleaned up so property can stay healthy. You know, no one person can do it alone. It's gonna take a family effort, team effort. I think I'm gonna walk through this ravine and get a better look. Maybe, can I walk on the other side there? Let me see. Watch my step here. Sacks, old sacks and bricks. You see the bricks there? A ball of some sort, or yeah, you can see there's some of everything in there. Center blocks. Is that a ball? That's not a ball. This is interesting. So much. Oh. I think what I want to do is I'm going to walk back up. I think I want to go any further. Maybe for another time I will go up further. But I must come right here and see what's really over there. Yeah, I would love to go back further in this property, but to be honest, I mean, this property needs to be surveyed. We need to have it surveyed so we know the boundaries. You know, we know where the front property is, but we need to know the back of the property. Where does our property actually end? You know, the total 1,545 or ish, whatever acres that's within the heir property. Where does it end? Where the boundaries at? So we know how to properly manage the property when it comes to harvesting timber, clean up the property, and whatnot. So I'm gonna make my way back to the front of this road and then do some more exploration. And actually, one of the first times I came out here to this property, this part anyways, was to catch people that were hunting. Again, as I told the story in my previous video, part 3, or yeah, it was part 2 or 3. I talked about when me and my uncle came out here and caught people parked their vehicles on our property and were running their dogs on the property, and had the sheriff came out here. And so essentially ever since then, even before then, I put up some trail cams in the woods, but how I had them positioned, they got swept away in a storm and destroyed by the water and Mother Nature. But came back here to find out people were hunting, and then there was that corn. I threw corn down, which attracts deer and everything else. As a matter of fact, before I started recording this video today that you see here, one of the hunters who I met in the previous time, I think it was 2020, he remembered me. He said, "Oh yeah, you part of the family." I said, "Yes sir." He said, "Yeah. What's going on, man?" "Nothing, just doing some exploring." "Ain't nothing wrong with that." "All right, man, be safe." So it's all love. It's all Well, it's peaceful interactions. Ain't gotta be, you gotta be nasty and hostile and spewing venom and all everything else. Hey, just keep it cordial, keep it respectful. I got no beef with nobody, but if people are doing things right, there should be no attitude. There should be no misunderstandings. You know, what I lie about, you know, my family was taken to court first over the alleged transgressions and everything else. All right, and really, they didn't present no evidence as to having an interest in the property, but they presented evidence. There's a boat. They presented evidence against my family of what they allegedly did. You know, financially, how it caused financial hardship for, you know, the members of the association. Well, that's the case then. There are a whole lot of other people should have been involved in that lawsuit, not just those 9-10 individuals that sued my family. Members of my family, how was it? It was uncle, aunt, and 3 cousins. So it should have been not on 9 versus 5. It should have been, you know, hundreds versus a 5. In reality, that was the case, but it didn't happen like that. Again, you know, my family members had information, had evidence, but it wasn't presented to the court. So it is what it is. But again, if people are doing right, there will be no misunderstandings. There will be no reason for hostility and lawsuits and everything else. But I'm near the front. As you see, I'm approaching the fallen tree across the road. So I will catch you at another location very soon. Okay, here I'm at the other location. If you see in my other video, I think it was part 2 or 3 of me exploring that property. So I'm gonna come back and look at this property, this part of the property, walk down this road and see what we find. Okay, so actually this is the first time that I'm walking down this road. I mean, I think I passed it several times. Make sure this car. All right, I passed this road several times, but really didn't notice it. Each time I pass, there's a helicopter of some sort or some kind of aircraft flying overhead. But I didn't explore this part of the property before. So I'm gonna check it out. This is, I believe it's the part where the hunters come and hunt. I don't see any kind of contraptions or any traps, deer traps or deer feeders, corn, or trail cams. I did see a trail cam when I was down by the dead end road down there. I did see a trail cam in a tree, but oh, there's a ladder there. You can see it. There's a ladder right there. So this is definitely where they probably hunt, or that's just been there. Not for sure. Could be wrong, but nonetheless, keep going. Well, yeah. Looks like that's an old deer stand, or yeah, it looks like old because it's riding away. So you know, unless you can see it right there, like an old deer stand. Definitely need to come out here and clean up this place. Again, you know, see a bunch of fallen branches. This part of the woods need to be cleaned up. You know, helps for provide a healthy forest. You know, especially, you know, I learned within the course. I'm taking the workshop. Again, this is all virtual. This is all online. You know, just via Zoom, hosted by for Heirs Property. That even when you attend some of the seminars we have on heirs property. Oh, there's a deer. Oh man, you see it right there. See it right there? It's a deer. Dang. Anyways, so that the forest or forestry industry in South Carolina is a $1 billion industry. I want to say it's in the 20s. I could be wrong. I gotta go and look at the information, but $1 billion. And a lot of the land that's in South Carolina is privately owned. What that means is it's owned by heirs property, heirs, or it's under heirs property, or it's people that purchase property and have large tracts of land. But a lot of it's owned by private citizens. It's not commercial property. It's not business property. That's why it's important that people understand the best business practices, right, when it comes to forestry and managing your property. Especially if you have 10 acres or more of land. Another big tree that fell down. Not sure how long it's been there like that, but let's keep going. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to turn this camera around so y'all can see more of the forest instead of me. Stay tuned. And what's also interesting in the course that I'm learning is that, again, even if you attend the workshops, the Heir Property workshops hosted by the Center for Heirs Property, that they give part of the workshop is talk about forestry. So they have a forester give their spiel on, how to manage the forestry part of your property. If you have forestry, or you want to plant trees, or whatever the case may be, that corporations, big corporations like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, or whoever will actually pay for the timber not to be cut. Part of the green initiative, if you will, right? Because they understand that the environment is part of the ecosystem, right? That makes things grow, that provides a sustainable world, if you look a better term. So you actually can receive money for not cutting your timber, whether it be for 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be. They'll pay for not have so much land, so much timber cut. And there's also conservation organizations out there that also will pay, right? Part of the easement that they'll pay for timber to be cut for X amount of years or whatever, to keep the natural habitat for wildlife, for plants. Because believe it or not, again, this is stuff that I learned in the workshop, that forests actually provide means to the pharmaceutical companies. Man, I don't even know where I'm at. Like, I don't even know how much of this is the heirs property, or I'm out here just wondering. That's why we need to have, anyway, I did see, let me go back for a second. I thought I saw a mark on a tree. See, there's not even marks on the trees that are identifying the boundaries of the property. But I do know that this property, is vast. I mean, 1,500 acres. How vast is this property? I mean, how far does it go back? It's not marked. There's no markings on these trees as far as where the property ends. Now, I'm not going to go too much further, but actually I might stop right here because it seems like it's going deeper into the woods and it's much more overgrowth. But nonetheless, like I said, that trees, forests, provide provide the habitat, the environment for pharmaceutical companies to produce medicines. So forestry, right, helps support the pharmaceutical industry, right? So there's money can be made there too, right? Such as, penicillin, aspirin, Tylenol, all that is made from as part of forestry. Even the rubber in your pencils, the rubbers on tires and everything else comes from forestry. So now I'm heading back to the vehicle. I think I've seen enough back here. But yeah, this is the first time I've been back here, and definitely need to, at some point, have this property surveyed, as well as figure out how much of the timber needs to be cut, what needs to be cut down, what needs to be kept for to grow back the other timber that we cut down, what needs to be planted, what needs to be cleaned up, such as this board here, like, so much needs to be done that, again, one person can't do it alone. We'll take the family and everybody involved, right? Because this has been neglected for years. Papa Sim died in 1978. I was 2 years old, and it was passed on to their living heirs. And Grandma Golda died in 1983. One of the children of Papa Sim, who's a grandmother to, mother to my grandmother, essentially my great-grandmother. Oh, man. So I went off to the right. There's another road here. I didn't even notice that. No wonder. How did, wow. Okay. So it's split. Okay, well, I stand corrected. Let me go this way then. So, as I was saying, it's going to take a family to come together and get this right. It's only right that I can't make a decision alone. No one can make a decision alone when it comes to the heir property. People can come on here and have the timber cut, but they risk the other heirs taking them to court because they have part ownership, part rights to that money, as well as the trees that were cut down. And so the timber company is going to be not really be held liable because that, hey, Johnny or Jill or Jack or whoever gave them rights and they're part owners of the property. So therefore they were doing what? Oh, so it's just a bag, just a plastic bag. Again, these trees need to be marked as far as where our boundary's at. But it goes back there a pretty way, Is that a balloon or a bag up there? As you can see. But, Papa Sim said it, that people will try to come get this property, that people don't think the right things. Man, look at that. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it on this camera or in this video, but those trees there are probably worth a lot of money. And this is not, I'm not making this video talk about money, but I'm just saying that used to be a swamp at some point. Something the way that is, that's eerie. Looking at it right now just gives me this eerie feeling that I do not want to be walking down there alone, especially not at night. Man. Looks like there's another crate, board of some sort down the road. But I'm not going to go all the way down there. I'm going to leave that right here and make my way back. But definitely need to have this property surveyed and marked. In actuality, in my previous video, when I talked about the J.K. Road being 1.6 miles, I stand corrected. Went back to my Google Maps and looked at it where I had marked parts of the road. It was 1.6 up until that dead end road. So I didn't walk the whole road and measure out. It was probably more along the lines of like 2 miles, even maybe 3 miles. But maybe in another video I'll walk it and do the measurements, figure out how long the road is. But I will see you at the vehicle at another location. Okay, now I'm walking up to, I want to say this end of the property. As far as along this road, Jigsaw Road goes into private property. See, they got the gate up, the signs up, road in, stop. That probably belongs to somebody else. But this is why I mean that this property needs to be surveyed as far as going this direction out this way and even in this direction here to know where our property ends. How deep into the woods does it end? We know where it ends, as far as right there, and where it begins, as far as the front and the back, but the sides need to be surveyed. There's a lot of trees there. And I think this, you can't see it right now in the video, but to the naked eye I can see the similar trees that I saw along the road where I said it was kind of eerie, and that the trees, the type of trees that are within that area was probably worth a lot of money due to the tree trunks and the way the trees looked. Like, and you can't see it, but that's actually a swamp. There's actually water, you know, kind of like you ever seen some of the movies like during the Revolutionary period, the movies during the slave period, like The Patriot or other movies like that, where they're in a swamp. You got the wooden stakes come out the ground. I don't know the scientific term or the right term for it, but that's what it looks like. That's a swamp right there. And I believe these trees probably worth a lot of money, like a lot more than pine and we call it loblolly pine or whatever kind of pine, you know, oak, cedar. Yeah, I believe those trees probably cost more. But, you know, is it worth harvesting, especially in a swamp area, if the timber companies can get their equipment back out here to get it? But anyway, I just want to show that. And I'm going to go back to the front and look at where the cemetery is to make my way out of here. Okay, where I'm at right now, I'm still walking along the road, or I'm driving along the road, coming back from back there, into the property line where it was dead end, it was gated off. But this part here is where you can't see it. I showed this in another video. I forget the name of the title of the video, but I recorded it back in 2018 and actually walked this part of the property. And it has a cemetery. There's a cemetery, old cemetery back there. There's graves back there. And I showed this part in my video too, but some of the either the original owners as well as their kinfolk are buried on this part of the property. I'm not going to walk in again, but there you can see. Like you see right there, there's a gravestone right there. just above, beyond that bush right there. I think it's called Bird Cemetery. I'm not sure. Going back and look at the death certificates of some of the individuals that are buried back there. Might have been Bird Cemetery, or what the case may be. But yeah, this is where some of the original owners or their kinfolk were buried. I think what I'm gonna do now is do some more exploration. Probably go down to the PD River near the bridge and wrap up this video. So I thank you for staying tuned and see you in that part of the video. I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough of this property. So that's the property right beside the bridge going towards Florence. So just under the overpass there is the PD River. So this is a part of the property, the 6 acres or so of the heir property that was in my last video, my previous video, part 3 that is, of me exploring the property. Maybe you remember this path. Not, no worries. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough. Sometimes people come down here and camp out, fish. You know, if it's harmless behavior, no issues, but people need to realize that this is private property. That they're camping and they're smoking and they're got open campfires, whatever. That's a risk to the property because if it catches on fire, who's going to be able to put it out? Trees burn up, and not to mention that there's homes back here on the other side of the bridge. You know, my grandma lives not too far from here. Well, she did, or the house isn't. It's still there anyways, but when she was alive, she didn't live too far from here. Should walk down there, but not much going on around here. Oh, there's a boat. You can see it right here. You can see the litter of trash, things. People coming back here, and there's a lot more than last time. Not much. I remember all that trash being there. But there's a path there. For that path. Okay, let's see where this path goes. Again, it's only 6 acres. I've never seen a tree before. There's trash in there. Beer bottles, beer cans, Gatorade bottles, Coke bottles, whatever bottles, Mountain Dew bottles, Sprite. Trash in this place. And actually this part of the property, you know, when I was a manager anyways, one of the managers, and we signed away but we gave rights to the hunting club to hunt, that this part of the property was not included due to it being so close to the highway and close to people's homes. We didn't want that to be an issue people firing their weapons, their guns, excuse me, close to people's homes. So it made it no hunting area. You can fish in this area, but not hunt. Man, can I walk down there? Oh, falling and busting my ass. Oh. Ooh. Alright. So far, so good. Again, like we need to have the property surveyed and put up markings as to where the property ends. Granted, we know that it ends right here on this side, you're right, on the PD River. But how far back does it go? And how far to this side of the property, which one call it the east side of the property, goes back, because there's other, I won't say plantations or property that's back there. But this is the mighty PD River, big PD River. And those are railroad tracks. You can see through the trees, the branch. There's a bridge going to Florence. And the side I'm on here is the Marion County side. And that side over there is the Florence side. Get it. According to history, my research, that this property was at one point owned by the Gibsons, and Washington James purchased the property for $300, 700 acres, $300 back in 1872, I'll say. And then, so some years after that, he mortgaged the property, foreclosed on that loan or mortgage. So it was sold to somebody else, and then him and the other men and women, to include Washington James, Toby Cox, his brother Cornelius Cox, Stephen James, which is alleged to be the brother of Washington James, and other men and women, came together and purchased the 2 tracts of land between 1884 and 1898, totaling 1,600 and some acres of land. I want to say it was 1663 acres. So 1,663 acres, I believe it was. But some deeds show that the property, the tracts of land, was whittled down to 1,613. So that means like 50 acres were sold off. It could have been, part of that was for build this highway, right? Build the highway, the bridge from Florence to Marion, and then to include the railroad tracks, and then other parts of the land was sold off for whatever reason. Whether legal, illegal, I don't know. But, and that was, of course, discovered from a title search, title extract. It's all recorded at the deed office, so everything I'm saying here is made up. I'm not just pulling stuff out of my butt. It's all documented. Well, I believe I'm gonna end it here, make my way back to my vehicle and call it a day and go home. But thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and I see you in the next video. Peace. I'm good up here, I don't know.